What's up, fellow Americans? Good morning, America. Good afternoon, I said good evening. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Come on in here. Come on in here. You all right, Rocky? Yeah, Rocky got a little sick earlier. Not sick. I could tell Rocky little ass ate too much too fast. Little Frenchies are sensitive. He eat too fast, stomach be all fucked up. What's up, Brooke? I thought I saw you over there on TikTok. Tried to go live on TikTok a little bit earlier. Oh shit, we got a police chase. Oh shit, I wish I was going live from my computer. I would cover this chase. Oh shit, we got a police chase on right now. Look, somebody running from the CHP in downtown LA. Ah shit. Oh, that person, they dipping, trying to. Uh oh. They going through downtown. Ah shit. It look like he going up to Olympic. Oh, he over by Staples Center. He right by Staples Center. Oh shit. Ah shit. Oh wait, Mo. Anyway, let's talk about this. Yeah, I'm gonna try TikTok again. But right when I went live on TikTok, Rocky started. I was like, oh shit, Rocky about to start throwing up his food. But now he ain't throwing the he chilling. So, but anyway, what's up to everybody? What's up, Zavon Scott, Miss Smoke? Let's break this down. I was watching a video with Too Short, and Too Short has said that basically New York was the blueprint on what not to do. And now let's put that in context. This video is talking about Too Short when he first started rapping. Too Short started rapping in 1980. And that was something he told me on a personal conversation I had with him. I don't know him like that personally. Somebody I know knows Too Short, and they were on FaceTime, and that particular person was telling Too Short that I'm a music historian, and so through somebody that Too Short's really cool with, we had like a 30-minute FaceTime conversation a couple of years ago, and so that's the context of when I spoke to Too Short. That's from that conversation. We talked for like an hour. And this is like right after one of his shows. We were on FaceTime just talking about music history. And he told me that he started in 1980, about the same time as LL Cool J. But this is a clip from the No Vultures podcast I'm about to play. And basically what they're talking about here is the Too Short origin story, how he got started. And the point that Too Short is making isn't that he hates New York or he's against New York, but that was a time when he came out, and really in all black music pre Jay-Z, coast to coast, West Coast, East Coast, New York to LA to Seattle, the thing was to be original and not be a biter, not to look like somebody else. And I'm about to play the clip for you, but there's always a reason for me doing what I do. What's up, Sherelle Bryant? What's up, Artist Life? Humans, Board Shock. The reason I'm playing this is because my working thesis that I've been talking to you guys about since I've been on the internet talking music is that hip hop, like all black music, takes on the form of the region, of the city and location that it's in. LA folks, you know, they didn't learn how to we didn't learn how to do hip hop from Cool Herc. Oakland people didn't learn their hip hop from the Bronx. Like everybody else, people heard the song "Rappers Alike." They heard Grandmaster Flash. They heard Curtis Blow, because those are some of the early rappers getting radio play. And then rappers in different parts of the country started doing their own version of it. And Too Short is somebody, like I said, in the West Coast, our hip hop is more so of a descendant from the funk than it is anything else. So listen to what Too Short had to say. Let me see if I got it queued up. And then we're going to talk about it. This is on the No Vultures podcast. Great interview, by the way. Now listen to this.
Crowd, how to MC. Yeah, because people, the go-to was straight up out of New York, be like New York. Everybody say ho, right? Ho. So from day one, I tell Freddie B, me, anybody, myself, like nigga, we are not doing what they do. Right. Whatever they do, we're not doing that. Yeah. So we're gonna be different. Then. So New York, we love New York rap, but that's the blueprint for what not to do. Whatever they talked about, however they flow, whatever they did, let's not do that. We had a whole different rap style. It's Too Short, Baby, and Freddie B. Like nobody in New York rap like that. That was our shit. Right. We talked about, we used Oakland slang, all the latest shit that was going on, fashion, whatever the fuck was the latest. Because the town, I'm not even gonna speak on the Bay because I wasn't really moving around the Bay like that. But the town always had a new slang word. Man. And, like, I listened to the song, I said, the bitch was flammy. Yeah. For a minute, flammy was a word that just meant you was just fucking, that's the bad, you don't want to be flammy. You don't want to be flammy. Yeah.
So, right there, you see what he was talking about. Again, this was not a diss to New York. And tonight's talk is not a diss to New York. This is a conversation amongst Black America. We've had the rest of the country has taken a back seat and been quiet, as if New York was the end all be all of rap. And we've had people like KRS-One who didn't even know about Uncle Jam's Army teaching hip hop around the world without even considering Too Short. Without even considering Too Short. Too Short is a cornerstone of rap music. I remember growing up in LA, there was never a time I did not know who Too Short was, and Ice-T. Like Too Short, even though he was up in the Bay here, and like, my uncle Jesse always played Too Short. Born to Mac, all that stuff that he was doing. My like there was never a time in my life Too Short didn't exist, And so that's why, as a West Coaster, as an LA person, when we hear all of this, well, hip hop started in the Bronx, got perfected in Brooklyn, and hit the world through Harlem, and got refined through Queens. I'm like, hold on. Y'all just skipped over all of Too Short's career. And outside of what was getting played on the radio, we didn't. It was Too Short and Ice-T that got the majority of our spins. Of course, Run DMC. Of course, Curtis Blow. But we had a whole thing going on over here. The way we dressed wasn't like the Bronx. The way we talk wasn't like the Bronx. The way we dance wasn't like the Bronx. But it was still hip hop. Because hip hop is Black American culture expressed through New York, expressed through East Orange, New Jersey, expressed through Chicago, expressed through Oakland, expressed through Compton, expressed through LA. And each one of those expressions are going to have a slightly different variation, but it's still going to all be the same family. Manosphere Hall of Fame, you get what I'm saying? This my job here is to bust that whole bubble because people that I was talking to one of my friends who was around New York in the early days of hip hop. I mean, uh, before Cool Herc, Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation was like they young homies, and they could tell me everything about what was going on in New York, but they had a vague knowledge of who Too Short was. And they were like, yeah, no, that was probably the generation behind me. I was like, no, you and Too Short are the same age. Y'all both was born in 1966. He was, while you're talking about Melly Mel, while you're talking about, Rakim, we had Too Short over here on the West Coast the whole time. And here's why that's important. It's important because if people from different sectors of Black America don't pick up hip hop would have just been a fad. It would have just been. It probably wouldn't even gotten to the point to where we call it hip hop. It would have still been known as rap music. Remember, it wasn't known as hip hop until way later. It was rap music. Rap music would have died a death like all genres that don't catch on in multiple regions Black Americans exist. I want y'all to hear this other part that he talked about in this interview.
Earlier saying your Louisiana story, I imagine Too Short with that same kind of equipment if you was never rapping, making beats like Manny Fresh.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine Too Short making the same kind of beats as Manny Fresh. I know that he had to.
The lane was wide open. I could have been a straight up producer. I could have been a straight up DJ. I could have been a straight up rapper or all of the above.
Yeah.
And hip hop, rapping, I should say, kept pulling me more and more. That's what was getting me the girls and getting me the money. And I knew how to DJ and I knew how to make beats. But later on, I'm like, I'm going to find somebody to DJ better than me. I'm going to find somebody to make beats better than me. I'm going to just do the rap shit.
Yeah.
But I was a master at all that shit, bro. And it's,
Right there, they talk about DJ culture. He's another example of somebody who had the full culture, not just rapping, but DJing. There's no way Too Short could have gotten this from Jamaica, is what I'm trying to say. And to validate, listen to this part he says right here.
It's documented if you go. I put it in what video was that? Maybe I Ain't Tripping. It's a little quick clip of me in that room rapping because Channel 4.
Yeah.
Channel 4.
Black and white clip.
Yeah. Channel 4 came to my house and did a segment on me. I was still in high school, and everybody, this is Todd Shaw. He's a rapper. Wow. You know? And I was on the motherfucking news. Like
that's crazy back then.
Then I did Home Turf.
Shout out to
Hear that? Too Short's even documented in the early 80s. Early 80s. High school, he was born in 66. That means he was high school between 1980 and 1984. Well, he did say he didn't graduate. He didn't leave the 10th. He got held beyond in 10th grade. So say between 1980 and 85 is when that news clipping had to have happened because he was born in 66. So you see here, this dude was even on TV in the early 80s. And listen to how he talks about how he got his music. It wasn't through looping a breakbeat. Listen to how he rapped, what he did to get his music.
Damn.
They was like that. They thought that was our beat.
Y'all song.
Yeah, so
Wait.
we was doing. I was in the record store every Tuesday buying
see.
whatever came out. Partially,
Wait.
Icer came out with Dollar Bill, y'all, dollar. Nigga, we put so many homemade tapes out to his instrumental before anybody even heard his version.
Damn.
And they was like that. They thought that was our beat.
Y'all song.
Yeah, so we was doing. I was in the record store every Tuesday buying whatever came out. Partially because I love the fuck out of hip hop. Partially because I'm looking for instrumentals for me and Fred to get down
What
on.
store was you going to at that time?
T's Wahoozy.
Wahoozy, of course.
And every 12-inch, if you put out a single, you got to put the instrumental on the back. That was just the way it was.
On the back. It's crazy because when you talking
see
about
that?
this time as a kid, Too Short.
He's talking about how he would rap over the instrumentals of R&B records, funk and R&B records. Chat does that not prove what I've been saying this whole time? Somebody say from the Southeast is Miami bass. I'm gonna do a show breaking down Miami bass. Miami bass is still is an LA sound. Y'all know that? 2 Live crews and producers, they from LA. Producers, not Luke wasn't. Drawing a blank of one of the producers' names, but if you want to know what Miami bass is, that's early LA hip hop. Supersonic, doom, 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 doom. Supersonic, the LA, because LA hip hop was techno before it went to G-Funk. It was techno first. That fast beat, we called it techno, and then when it went to Miami, they called it Miami bass. But we called it techno rap out here. It was to techno. And that's what people rap to out here in LA. And then it moved to Miami and became known as Miami bass. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this for the same reason I'm saying stop all them goddamn stupid ass top 5 arguments and regional arguments, regional battles. Ooh, who's better, this region or that? Look, when it come down to it, hip hop, like jazz, like R&B, like the blues, is a Black American sound. No region is better than the other. No one region is better than the other. Comes down to preference. So, back to what we're talking about as far as breaking down the New York myth. I've been on this campaign now for about 2.5, 3 years. Artist Life, you've been around for that. Sinister, y'all been around for a while. That's what I've been talking about. And I use these interviews, like the interview of Too Short, to prove what I've been saying. Because the West Coast point of view on hip hop has never been accurately and adequately studied. At best, when people start talking about the West, especially out of New York, they start with NWA. The LA and the South, the Midwest, it's funny how LA, the Midwest, the South, we all tend to get along. Like Scarface. We love Scarface in LA. We love the Ghetto Boys. One of my favorite songs is Too Short with Scarface and Devin the Dude. You must be used to all the finer things, infatuated by what money brings. We love Devin the Dude out here. I love, man, Don't tell me shit about Devin the Dude. Yeah, we love UGK out here. We've never, like, the South never had to jump over any hurdles to be accepted by LA. The South never had to jump over hurdles. It was like for us, if it was hot, we fuck with it. And I'm here to get New York straightened out when it comes to this shit. You niggas are not special, okay? Black America is special. You're special. Well, take back. You're all special. You are special because Black America is special. But you're no more special than the rest of the country. Like Chicago, as far as black culture being expressed musically, New York still's not fucking with Chicago. Ooh, did I just say that? McClendon report, did I just say that? Slim Slimmer, Ronald Hazley, did I just say that? Felix Speaks, did I just say that? All of black music owes Chicago. Rather hitmaker, you could take it. My ma Brooke, she from New York. She know I love New York, but she knows that, like her, like a lot of New Yorkers, she knows parts of New York need some straightening on how they been talking when it comes to this hip hop things. Chicago. What's up, Kenneth Berry? And mind you, chat room, when I'm talking music, I'm not just talking hip hop. Hip hop is is a subgenre of all black music. It's not the definition of black music. But black music really owes Chicago probably more than any other city. And let me tell you why. Radio and access to recording labels. It was Chicago that opened the door for the black recording industry. Chicago is where gospel music got started. Chicago is where jazz went nationwide. Yes, it started in New Orleans, but Kansas City for swing and bebop. But Chicago is where a lot of your jazz musicians met up. That's where Louis Armstrong met King Oliver and became who he is. Chicago had a place down in the 50s and the 60s called Record Row. At Record Row, Chess Records, Brunswick Records, VJ Records, these are all white and black-owned record labels, but even the white record-owned labels like Chess Records allowed the black artists autonomy to record. Chicago is where black art, black music first got a serious, I mean, I'm talking about multi-genre, across genres, got a chance. What's up, DSB? We as black people black Americans, if we're going to stop others from stealing our culture, we're going to have to get off of the regional bullshit. Let me say that again. If we're going to thwart these people stealing our culture, we can argue, we can have some jokes amongst ourselves about what side we like the most. Me personally, I'm taking LA over everybody because I'm a LA nigga. R&B got to start in LA. R&B wouldn't be a genre if it weren't for LA. Going back to LA's recording industry of the 1940s. You know, I love the LA sound. My personal, after LA sound, my second favorite sound is the Philadelphia sound. You know what I mean? But I don't have a hard. I love all the regions for different reasons. You know, I love it's each region has a different taste, a different flavor that when it comes down to it, Black American music needs all the regions for it to work. No region like really survived off exclusively their sound if you think about it. Now one region except for like the only regions who survives exclusively off of their sounds are regional musics that stay in that region. Okay? Any sound that we created that's gone nationwide and has taken a stronghold nationwide, there's been a mixture. You're right. The LA sound gets sampled so much, and we don't talk about it. Both New York rap, Philadelphia neo soul, and DC soul. All three, especially those three cities, the most sample the LA sound. Like Pete Rock, Roy Ayers, and the Mizell brothers. People don't even know who the fuck the Mizell brothers are, but their music is everywhere. The neo soul sound out of Philadelphia, all those Jill Scott music, soul child shit was for the most part completely original, but the Jill Scott stuff, man, that stuff was so heavily sampled off the L.A. soul. Mizell brothers, Roy Ayers, the Blackbirds out of D.C. They were produced by L.A. musicians, L.A. artists, and people don't even know Patrice Rushen played the keyboard on a lot of the stuff from the Blackbirds. Chicago was like the major rallying point from people all across the Delta. The Delta, for the most part, united in Chicago. And that's why Chicago is so important. You got all of these mixtures of the Delta, New Orleans, Natchez, Birmingham, all over to Birmingham, all the way over to Texas. And a lot of that in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s came together in Chicago. You know? So when it came down to it, when it comes down to it, every form of black music that's taken off to go worldwide has been, the arranger might be from Memphis, the musicians might be from Chicago, one musician from Chicago, one from New York, one from LA, and the artist might be from San Francisco or whatever. And it's that stew of black American musicians from across the country coming together to create a sound that makes the music. I love funk. Funk is a sound that Ohio pushed out a lot, but Ohio, you gotta realize, I love Ohio funk, but oftentimes it gets mischaracterized. LA and the West Coast gets left out of funk because it was Sly and the Family Stone. James Brown started the notion of funk, but it was Sly and the Family Stone that made funk crossover. James Brown was smart. James Brown he said it, intentionally made music for black folks. Funk crossed over with Sly and the Family Stone out of Oakland and San Francisco, going back to that rich Oakland music history. The Bay Area is so diverse in their sound. The Bay Area, like, the same way Too Short and E40 can't be nothing alike, Mac Dre and MC Hammer ain't nothing alike. Same thing with the bands. The Grateful Dead comes out of Chicago. Santana out of Oakland, out of the Bay Area. Santana comes out of the Bay Area. Tower of Power could function. I mean, don't none of them motherfuckers sound alike. Yeah, Jimmy. And I said all that to say this is not hating on New York. It's correcting New York's arrogance. And New York has been loud and wrong for too long. Let me say that one more time. New York has been loud and wrong for too long. Who remembers the show that I did early this year on KRS-One when KRS-One interviewed with Dr. Green Thumb, Be Real when he interviewed with Be Real from Cypress Hill. KRS-One's been teaching music history, hip-hop for 30 years. For 30 years, KRS-One's been running around the world, Germany, getting paid big money to teach hip-hop. And he didn't even know about Uncle Jam's Army and the hip-hop parties in L.A. in 1981, 82 that had 10,000 people showing up. He didn't know about Arabian Prince. He didn't know about Toddy T. He didn't know about Too Short. He didn't know about none of this shit going on over here. Yet he's running around the world teaching hip-hop history. Think about that for a second, chat room. Now, if KRS-One was teaching New York hip-hop history, cool. I think this needs to be reworded, you know? What's up, Rocky? I think we need to qualify this. What's up, baby boy? You good, baby boy? You good, baby boy? That's my little nigga right here. Rocky, that's my little nigga right here. Y'all can't see because it's too dark. But y'all know Rocky. He right here. Y'all know Rocky. But hey, Ghost 85 Mac, the general consensus is that people of color are a minority. Ghost 85. How can people of color be a minority when white people are only 1/10 of the population of the planet? Ghost 85 Mac. You see the difference between general consensus and reality, you stupid motherfucker? In reality, the quote-unquote minority are the majority of the planet because the Caucasian makes up 10% of the Earth's population. But 10% of the Earth's population got your stupid ass calling yourself a minority because of general consensus. The general consensus agrees that you're a minority and they're the majority. You stupid motherfucker. Don't come in my chat room talking that dumb shit. I know what the general consensus says. The general consensus is wrong. You fucking idiot. See, there we go. These people ain't ready for me, yo. It's the reason why these podcasts, man, these niggas don't want me to come in on their shit. I outshine these niggas when I talk music. I told you I did this one podcast. It was a really popular podcast last year. Man, we got in talking this music shit. They did not release the episode. It never came out. I wasted a day of my fucking time. Because I smoked all their asses on this hip-hop shit. They didn't release the episode. These people don't want to fuck with me. That's why I'll always appreciate a cat like Tariq Nasheed. You know what I mean? And people can say what they want about him. I'm not going to defend him. He can defend himself. Matter of fact, he'll do a better job defending himself than I'll defend myself. But Tariq was one of the few people that have a platform that didn't mind me speaking that music talk. I intimidate niggas. Niggas don't want to fuck with me. You got to be you have to be secure within yourself to fuck with me. You have to be secure within yourself to fuck with me. If you're not secure within yourself, you're not gonna fuck with me. Hey, Ghost Mac 85. First off, your stupid ass never read a goddamn textbook. If you saying that, I have dozens of books that talks about hip hop's creation, and Cool Herc has nothing to do with it. Academic books talks about hip hop as a continuum from the blues. You stupid motherfucker. Read an academic book, not a book written by a rapper. You see, this is what happens when you was raised on goddamn Similac and spoiled titty milk. Your brain don't work. Academic books talk about hip-hop as a continuum from the blues. You fucking idiot. You don't want to fuck with me. All right? But you know, I give like, people can say like, they talk about FBA under attack. You know, you see all the stuff that's going on. You know, you've been seeing a lot of these channels react to what's been going on. Between Tariq and Brother Smalls. And I appreciate Dr. James Smalls. I interviewed with him. He let me interview him when I first started this channel. But, so you know me, y'all can feel how y'all feel about James Smalls. I disagree with James Smalls on this topic, but I'm not throwing him out because of it. I've seen a lot of y'all ready to throw the brother out. Like, I'm not going to throw the brother out. I still love James Smalls. And his issue with Tariq is their issue. Tariq has a right to respond the way Tariq responded because he said something about Tariq, not about Dwann Brown, so I can't get in the middle of Tariq and James Smalls. I still love James Smalls. I just vehemently disagree with him when it becomes to this particular topic of FBA. And I leave it there. But a lot of them older niggas, they don't fuck with me. You know, these niggas in this world, they all know who I am. And that's the crazy part about it. You got certain cats who don't have no ego about it. Black Alpha, cool as fuck. Afro Elite, them cats ain't got no, them cats, they straight, you know. Vicky Dillard, she straight. You know, and I know I'm forgetting some names. Tim Black, major love to Tim Black. You know, a lot of these cats, they straight. But, you know, like in that music arena, it's people all up in the music podcast. This how I knew that people knew who I was. Because it'd be hard for me to believe sometimes. But I'm always in that music world. I was at the Blue Note Festival about 2 years ago. And I saw Sway. And Sway's not part of this conversation because he's not online. He's over on XM. So I'm not talking about him as far as like the online folks. Sway's not in this particular YouTube world that we're in. So I'm not talking about him as far as people not giving access, whatever. But I saw Sway, and I walked up to him, and I said, "Hey, yo, Sway, man, bro, you mean a lot to the culture and what we do." And Sway said, "Dwann, nigga, I know who you are." And I was like, "For real?" That nigga just gave a big-ass hug. Sway's basically, he shut me up. He was like, "Dwann, nigga, I know who you are." I was like, wow, that surprised the fuck out of me. But these niggas don't want to talk music with me. And that's fine. And that's fine, you know? That is fine. It is what it is. But I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep putting it out. But back to what we talking about with this hip-hop thing and what Too Short said. If you saw my interview with Lonzo if you saw my interview with Lonzo from the Wrecking Crew, who discovered all of NWA, he talked about how when LA hip hop started, it was all in basically to the funk. It was the funk generation. Hey, Felix Speaks, if y'all want to deal with James Smalls, y'all deal with him. I'm not. Don't ever come to me thinking I don't join nobody's party. I walk to my own beat. That's why I give respect. I give respect to other people's beat, cause I for damn sure gonna walk mine. I still love Dr. James Smalls. He don't deal with their beat, and he said people don't know their history. I know my history, so that doesn't offend me. I know my history, and I'm still not a Pan-Africanist. The shots that James Smalls threw, they don't hit me. I know my history, you know. I'm not running from Africa. So that in effect, though, that was just some old cliche shit. That was some old cliche shit, you know. But for those who lost respect for James Smalls, that's fine. Like, I get it. Because I'm at an age in my life now to where I see we evolve. Me, 10 years ago, just say if first off, we weren't on no FBA shit 10 years ago like that. Say 2010. Let's go back 2010. If we were on this, and I was where my mind was in 2010, I probably would have said fuck James Smalls too. Hell, even 10 years ago. If this same thing popped off the way it popped off now, and I was where I was 10 years ago at the age of 34, I probably would have said fuck him too. But at the age I am now, I'm less quick to. I'm more measured in my response to things. I don't know what Ronald Hazy said, Boris Shock, but don't time him out. I didn't see. I didn't see Ronald Hazy was timed out. Ronald Hazy comes in to be antagonistic sometime, but he's all right. Like y'all can let him roll. He comes in to sometimes Ronald Hazy say things that are contrary to what I'm saying, but you know, let him roll. Let him roll. It's all good, but yeah, let him roll. Yeah, Mrs. Mo, everybody look, because I get why people make, like Brooke said that she's off of them, you know, but I know I know like with certain people's cards, like if you're the people who are of the diamond suite, you niggas tend to be very rigid on people. People who are of the spade suite tend not to forgive. People of the club suites tend to be more measured and balanced. I happen to be a club. People of a heart suite tend to follow what tend to be very emotional and all over the place. Everybody living out their own cards. Everybody got to live out their own cards and live this shit out your own way. So my approach is, you know, I still appreciate Brother James Smalls. because he's taught me a whole lot, and I tend to still show appreciation to people who've taught me. And I'll say this about James Smalls: I was Pan African before I knew who James Smalls was. I started buying into Pan African philosophy the minute I read up on Booker T. Washington in high school, and then Marcus Garvey. But I knew about Booker T. Washington before I knew about Marcus Garvey. And Booker T. Washington talking about, you know, building up and working the land so you can sell and even sell across the diaspora. Came across James Smalls, and it was Hidden Colors that introduced me to James Smalls. I took a liking to him more so than a lot of the other people that were in it. When I saw Hidden Colors, the people I took a liking to the most initially was Umar Johnson, and in no order. And I would say number one, Dr. Welsing. I took a liking to her the most. I took a liking to Dr. Welsing, Umar, Scheherazade Ali, Kaba Kamene, he was Booker T. Coleman at the time, and James Smalls. Those are the 5 people, and Dr. Carl Anderson, I already knew who he was. He was, Dr. Carl Anderson came to my church when I was 15. So I've been knew who he was. But out of the people I was introduced to on Hidden Colors, those were the 5: Dr. Umar, Dr. Welsing, Scheherazade Ali, Kaba Kamene, Booker T. Coleman, and Dr. Smalls. And I went on YouTube and I found all their videos on YouTube. I looked up every Dr. James Smalls interview I could for years, you know? And so I learned a lot, and I got even deeper into Pan-Africanism because of Dr. James Smalls. Dr. James Smalls is what made me get even deeper into Pan-Africanism. I donated to his hotel. And let me say this before y'all get too mad at me. It was through being even more Pan-African after listening to Dr. James Smalls, after listening to Umar back in the day, after listening to Kaba Kamene, after watching Sonnetter all those years. It was through me being more Pan-African and putting my money up and being Pan-African that I realized this shit ain't going nowhere. For me personally, I'm a king of clubs. I sometimes gotta go through things to learn my lesson oftentimes. And I had to be a Pan-Africanist. I had to follow a lot of what Brother James Small said for me to realize this shit ain't working. So for him, I thank him for that, because sometimes if it's just a concept, you don't know. But if you've applied it and you've gotten an answer, that's how you know without a shadow of a doubt. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, Pan-Africanism as of this time right now isn't going to work because of my experience as a Pan-Africanist. It wasn't just a concept. The FDMG, I donated to that. It was that juxtaposition of being a Pan-Africanist while at the same time working at my last job that I worked at, working with those kids and working in South Central LA, and seeing the need of our children. That's what made me stop being a Pan-Africanist. So when people like James Smalls throw these shots that we don't know what we're talking about, no, I can confidently look at him and say, no, I do know what I'm talking about because I did listen to you. I did apply what you said. And then I will go to work the next day and see my black children facing menticide, facing a public school system that's funneling them into IEPs and and taking resources and gentrifying, and not one motherfucker from Africa, not one of these people that be talking about how much money they got or all the education, they don't help none of our kids out. And when they send money back to Africa, they sending it back to their family. So I appreciate the lesson. But Dr. James Smalls has taught more than that. So I get it. But I also get why people are bad. And I'm cool with it. I never tell you niggas not to be mad. Shit. Keep being mad. You know, sometimes it's those of you who are real mad, y'all the ones that's gonna really make people think twice about how they talk about us. So y'all are just as necessary as niggas like me who like, hey, I think that James Smalls is dead wrong. And I'm probably not gonna really be watching his videos like that. Yeah, he flip-flopped from his own teaching. Yeah, but yeah, is he being hypocritical? Of course. Of course he's being hypocritical. But y'all about to let him y'all are showing him that niggas ain't rocking with it. I still got respect for him. I just don't agree with him. He's a hypocrite when it comes to that. And at least this particular, from this point of view. But I give grace because some things I may say, I don't know, can come off that way sometimes. That's him. What's up, Rocky? You good? See, this is what happens. Brooke, this is what happens. Look at James Smalls this way and the opposition that he's putting out. Is he putting a target on your back? Yeah. But a target is already on FBA's back. It's already there. All movements come from the ones that win through extreme opposition. Opposition is necessary to decide to see who is who and what is what. You know? And when I look at these people who are attacking, FBA for their response to James Smalls, that shows me a lot. Like, why are you attacking them? They didn't start nothing. He said this. He started it. But what it does is, for people who are in the middle, it makes people listen. And if you've paid attention, the more FBA gets attacked, the bigger it gets. See, pay attention. No one really attacks ADOS. So ADOS is still in 2025 where it was in 2019. It's like for a long time, people were saying both, all the way pretty much through the pandemic. But really post-pandemic, when something's being attacked, it's generally the FBA side. And look at how much it's grown. Let me tell you why it grows. Because there are people out there, most of the world has lived offline, not online. Those of us online in these arguments, in these discussions, we're the extreme minority. You go talk to the average American, they ain't talking about no FBA nothing. ADOS, they ain't talking about no Pan-Africanism. These niggas is talking about the Lakers and Obama. That's what most people are talking about. So most of the world is lived offline. When these discussions and arguments come, it grows into Thanksgiving conversations, family reunion conversations, casual conversations with friends, and through word of mouth, people catch on. It grows in the algorithm, and people who are on this, they get to listen to both sides, and they get to have their own experience and check what's being said against their own experience. And Black Americans, when most people talk about their interactions with people across the diaspora, specifically Nigerians, most Black Americans are going to they have Nigerians that they're cool with, but they all got negative experiences too, with especially in the workplace. Like if you met a Nigerian or an African in a casual environment, 99% of the time they're cool as fuck. But when you come across them in the workspace, that's when people start having these experiences. So when these fights happen, it grows, and then you got people out there who aren't on either side, and they listen. And what ends up happening is the FBA side sounds more logical to people who are on neither side. Because when you talk to most Black Americans, we kind of quietly say amongst ourselves, I don't think I'm African. Chat room, press the number one if you've had that conversation with your family and your friends. Where I'm talking about offline, way before FBA became a thing. How many times have you had a family members be like, I ain't African. Or press number two if you've heard somebody in your family say your grandmama was Indian or your auntie, or they say we Indian. Press number two if you've heard that. So when these fights happen, like what's happening right now with Brother Smalls, what that does is it makes these conversations come to the table. And it's in my opinion, my belief, that that's the reason why the FBA Native Black American designation has come to be such a huge theme in the last, few years. It wasn't like this in 2018. These fights make people say their piece and put their information out there. Did y'all see Dana with the data say that, have her response? I didn't watch the whole video. I just watched like 2 minutes of it. That shit sounded fucking. And she's cool. She follows me on Twitter. Like, I have no issues with Dana with the data. But I read those comments. Oh my God. The comments on that video she did. Mickey Jones, did you read those comments? They are tearing her ass up. I hope I don't never do a video that have my people that follow my show tearing me up like that. God damn. Yeah, Ken, she was saying it was just like the little bit I heard, I was like, huh? And also, you got to realize, like, when it comes down to it, I realized when I started doing the comedy show at the museum. Not then, not before then. When I did when I spoke at the reparations rally, how polarizing Tariq is. People do not like him, and I think a lot of it has to do with his confidence. You know, very when people are very confident like that, and his not giving a fuck and how he delivers his message, and being associated with Tariq, you catch a lot of strays. Around the time of that rally, I caught a lot of strays. And when Mike Check came out. But at the end of the day, the people, I don't run from it because the people throwing the strays, they're stupid. So it's like, oh, this person's a fucking idiot. Okay. I've never heard a stray come from somebody that has a modality of thought that I respect. Put it like that. I've never seen it. I've never caught a stray. I'm like, no one has ever shot a stray to me, like mad at Tariq, but they threw one my way. Like 0% of them people have a modality of thought that I respect. So for me, it would be like being mad that a retard, you know, the retarded kid with a helmet on slobbering, called me a duty head. Like, all right, you got it. People do not like it, but that's how you know he doing something right. You know. Yeah, Mickey Jones. They ate her up. They ate her up because she was playing real obtuse. Hell, they ate her up on Star Report when she called it when she was on the Star Report. But that's when you listen to the people who have the quote unquote anti FBA arguments. They all say the same thing, and none of them are intelligent. But let's get back to Too Short. Let's get back to Too Short. Let's get back to Too Short's comments and what we were talking about when it comes to hip hop. Let's get back to the hip hop talk. With the hip hop talk, the whole the whole calling out of the tethers has really helped somebody like me over here on the West Coast and what y'all dealing with over in New York. Because New York has a divisiveness, but a lot of New Yorkers, especially here, y'all be like, no, look at who's saying that though. A lot of that are the Jamaican dudes or whatever, Dominicans. And I'm not in New York, so I can't say yay or nay to that as far as what's happening on the ground. But as far as rap goes, like Nas is certified Black American, and he is not a hater at all. Nas is very quick to show love, you know. So Nas ain't don't be on that kind of time. From what I've observed, LL Cool J don't be on that kind of time. LL Cool J, from what I've observed, Q-Tip don't really be on that kind of time. Buster, that dress wearing nigga, he the one that say that kind of shit. Fat Joe, you know. So it's something for those of us on the West Coast who aren't in New York on the ground, know, and we don't know. You know, it's good that y'all put that out there. It's good that y'all put that out there. I know Rakim don't be on that kind of time. I had a dope conversation with Rakim one day. That same matter of fact, it was the same day I had that conversation with Too Short. When I talked to Rakim, that was face to face, and we was talking about jazz and bebop and the bebop connection to hip hop. And me and Rakim had a dope conversation. Cause when I called him the Charlie Parker of rap, he knew exactly what I meant. Rakim changed the texture of rap, the way Charlie Parker and Dizzy changed the texture of jazz and phrasing. And he put a wrinkle in time in that stayed there. It never left. Like Too Short. Too Short. What Too Short did. Oh yeah, Big Daddy Kane performed at the Valley, right? Well, going back to Too Short. Too Short, for those of us on the West Coast, he, when I grew up, Too Short to me was just as famous as Run DMC, LL Cool J, Houdini. That's just what was on. When I started becoming conscious of music and who was playing on the radio with my uncle, that started like when I was 5. I would always ask when the song would come on, "Who is that? Who is that?" And my uncle, like I mostly was with my dad. My dad didn't play no rap. The closest I got to rap in my household was "Strange" by Cameo. Strange, strangest woman. That terrible ass Larry Blackmon rap. That rap was horrible. But that song "Strange" by Cameo was as close as I got to rap in my household. My dad was playing Smokey Robinson, Lionel Richie, Anita Baker, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. That's what my dad was playing in the house. Skeletons in your closet, itching to come outside, messing with your consciousness. Yes. That's what my dad was playing. But when I heard rap, that was my Uncle Reggie and my Uncle Jesse. And both my Uncle Reggie and my Uncle Jesse listen to Too Short. My uncle my Uncle Jesse had he got my grandmama's box Chevy. My grandmama had a box Chevy Caprice, and she gave it to my uncle, her son. And I used to be in my uncle's box Chevy playing Too Short. This is 1986. So when I hear these quote unquote hip hop people talk more about Kool Herc than Too Short, and Kool Herc didn't create a motherfucking thing. There was literally nothing that Kool Herc created. Kool Herc, saying Kool Herc started hip hop is like saying Columbus discovered America. He came upon some shit that was already happening and just did his own thing. And his own thing, most of the world never saw. There was no internet at that time. None of the shit was on video. How the hell is somebody from Oakland or LA gonna do a Kool Herc thing when they never heard of the motherfucker? And how they do it is completely different than anything Kool Herc gets credit for. You heard how Too Short said that he rapped. Too Short wasn't looping a break beat. He rapped to the instrumental side of an album. So tell me how Kool Herc influenced what was going on over the West Coast when they rapped. They weren't looping a break beat. They were just rapping over the instrumental. And bands didn't start doing instrumentals because Kool Herc said, hey, go do some instrumentals. Instrumentals been around. Like, like, the whole elements of hip hop is bullshit. Think about this, y'all. They talk about the elements of hip hop, and graffiti is an element. Question: can we have a hip hop party without graffiti on the walls? Yes or no? No, you don't need graffiti to have a hip hop concert. You do need rhythm and blues music though. So why is graffiti an element of hip hop but not rhythm and blues music or funk? Funk is still rhythm and blues music, by the way. It's a particular texture of rhythm and blues music. But I say rhythm and blues music because every hip hop sample isn't funk